at present made by the people of Sikkim in the building of modern Sikkim. Historically, budget presentation has been a great occasion in Sikkim. The structures, composition, and orientation of our budgets have undergone very visible and perceptible changes over the last few decades. People of Sikkim follow budget and keep keen interest as it touches them at all levels and in their multifarious activities. Let us recall that late John Cardy White, the first political officer in Sikkim under British superintendency in 1887, was the founding official to prepare the first budget of Sikkim in 1889. He introduced quite a few immediate changes in the revenue, assessment and collection system with a view to induct a modern budgetary system. This included introduction of receipt and expenditure sides and monetizations of the budgetary system. The land, forests and excise were the major sources of revenue. Receipt from land revenue was rupees 13,585 within bracket 67%. Forest was 2,752 13%, and excise was rupees 1,448 7%. With the miscellaneous revenue of rupees 2,551, the total revenue of Sikkim was estimated to be 20,336. On the expenditure side, public works got the biggest share of 9,742 65%, followed by allowance to Raja of rupees 4,575 31%, and agriculture of rupees 64 0.42%, and miscellaneous of rupees 588 3.58%. The total expenditure was rupees 14,969. This was the budget of Sikkim in 1889. It was undergone metamorphic changes over the last 13 decades. For instance, land revenue, which contributed 67% of the total revenue in 1889, hardly contributed 1.74% of tax revenue in 2020-21. Similarly, excise revenue of 7% in 1889 today stand at over 20% of the tax revenue. The revenue from forest that constituted 13% of the total revenue in 1889 today contributes hardly 3% total non-tax revenue. Avenues of the state's revenue which did not at all exist then today is an overwhelming contributor. For instance, commercial tax constitute over 74% of the total tax revenue, and power sector contributing over 52% of the total non-tax revenue in 2020-2021. Both these subsectors did not figure at all in 1889. Honorable Speaker, sir, I mention all this historical data on our budget mainly to drive home the point that the structure of Sikkim's economy has drastically changed. The contribution of agriculture in the state's total gross domestic product has remarkably decreased, and this has been a simultaneous increase in the shares of industrial, manufacturing and service sectors. The aspirations of our peoples are now different, much diverse and steadily becoming higher. The contribution of the central government in our development and non-development expenditures are enormous and growing in a galloping manner. Therefore, the development goals and strategies have to be more appropriate to meet the people's need and to cater to Sikkimese and nation's larger interests. At the same time, the August House will be delighted to know that Sikkim now has the highest per capita income in the country, which stood at rupees 4,72,543 in 2021-22. Sikkim ranked 5th in the country and second amongst all northeastern states in the nationwide survey on happiness. Our development goals and strategies. Therefore, one of the most critical interventions our government has been making in the last 4 years. It is to set new goals and design appropriate strategic for the wider and all-round development of Sikkim. In the budget of last 4 fiscal years since our government took over the governance of the state, we have emphasized on 5 crucial areas. Firstly, we are refocusing on rejuvenating the rural economies, wherein we have focused on both agriculture and non-agriculture activities. Beside the traditional crops, we are keenly inducting commercial crops, dairy, piggery, and other off-farm activities have really picked up. We have made very many innovative interventions, including popular schemes like Mukhya Mantri Krishi Atmanirbhar Yojana that cover a band of 13 crops. We now have established production cluster with evolving farmer producing organizations. We are encouraging the commercial banks, other financing and investment agencies to support the agriculture and allied sector. Secondly, in the industrial activities, we are making effort to bring as much green industries as possible. This will gradually lead to setting up of both traditional industries like pharmaceuticals and beverages and non-traditional ventures like information technologies, food processing, green energy, green tourism, and other green services. When we successfully hosted 2 prestigious G20 engagement group meetings in March 2023, our government emphatically stated about our keenness to consolidate and sustain the organic farming. We want to make it core philosophy spread over to other sector and disciplines and other religions of India and outside. We sought 4 crucial collaborative support from the diverse set of representatives from G20 countries and organizations. We requested for green technology that would enhance the productivity and yield in our very limited farmland and meant mostly by small and marginal farmer. We explored the possibility of entering into fair trade principle and practices to value chain arrangements so that our farmers get remunerative prices right at the farm gate in the rural vicinities of Sikkim. While placing our comparative advantages and core competence, we highlighted the potentials of value additions and processing facilities within the state that would create an organic niche in cardamom, ginger, turmeric, chilies, buckwheat, and other millets, tree, fresh drinking water, flowers, fruits, traditional medicinal herb, faith healers, abundant yet vanishing knowledge and farm animal product. We sought their support in building capacities among the new generation farmers and trained them on newer method of organic farming, while focusing on our varieties of indigenous organic seeds and plants which have witnessed gradual erosion in their genetic pools. We invited a range of interdisciplinary institutions that deal with training, research and experimentations, productivity enhancement, processing, marketing, and to enable other sectors move to organic culture. I personally appeal to all the distinguished B20 and G20 delegates to support us, invest in these 4 areas and make Sikkim a green agroecological destination of the global world. Our officials are undertaking follow-up actions and would soon involve the local entrepreneurs and other related institutions. Since this is a vital sector for the overall growth, our government has fixed responsibilities for all departments to us, realizing the goals of acquiring sustainable support and investment from both the G20 partners and other countries. Thirdly, given the distinct advantages, we have concentrated in some services sector activities. We are targeting setting up a new tourism venture, education enterprises, and health amenities. Fourthly, eradications of poverty and inequality and sharing and prosperity with the people at the grassroots grassroots has been a core area of our policy intervention. In this regard, the August House would be delighted to note that the first India Multidimensional Poverty Index MPI report published by Niti Aayog in 2021 states that in terms of the head count ratio, Sikkim with 3.82% has the third lowest percentage of population who are multidimensionally poor in India, the lowest in Calcutta with 0.71% and the highest in the Bihar with 51.91%. While celebrating this achievement, we should not be complacent as in some indices of deprivations like cooking, fuel, housing, bank account, and asset. We have to consciously and steadily improve our performance to be in the top 5 best in India. Let me also inform the August House that as per the announcement I made in our first budget in 2019 to undertake an in-depth study of the state of poverty and inequality in Sikkim. The response was given to the Directorate of Economic Statistics, Monitoring and Evaluation in the government of Sikkim. DSME has now completed a very comprehensive household-based study report aptly known as Unayan Survekshan 2022. We shall soon look into the major finding in the report, identify the gaps and scope actions, and accordingly start making policy guidelines. This August House would like to place on record its gratitude and thanks to the hard-working and dedicated professionals of DSME, and also extend our profuse thanks to the Chief Economic Advisor for broadly monitoring and supervising the preparation of the first comprehensive Unayan Survekshan of Sikkim. Fourthly, all this venture requires physical connectivity, linkage with the market and other infrastructure. That is the reason we have been emphasizing on alternative highways, both to connect with the national market and also state highways. Within the state, the government has constructed a number of roads, and a number of them, including 17 kilometers Sang Khola Jingla Road, are under construction. There are tangible development in both these fronts. Silgari-Rampur highway line is likely to be completed soon. This will be extended to Gangtok and further up. National Highway 717A connecting Bagri Code in West Bengal and Sikkim is also likely to be completed soon. It is being constructed and maintained by the National Highways and Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited. This is where we have made strong pleas for the construction of multimodal economic corridor linking West Sikkim with the district of Eastern Nepal through Chiobhanjang. It has been a traditional bilateral contact point between West Sikkim in India and Nepal. West Sikkim shares a common border with Province number 1 of Nepal. This province number 1 has 14 districts and over 4.5 million population, 15% of Nepal's total population. Among the 7 provinces, this eastern province has the second largest areas of 25,905 square kilometers, over 17% of the Nepal's total land area. This is one of the most dynamic economic geographies of Nepal. This may be a potential area for development of border trade post with Nepal in the future. India has several significant national interests in the eastern Nepal. The Chiobhanjang corridor will further consolidate India's national security interests, since this has a range of agricultural, plantation, industrial, commercial and tourism center and bargaining market. Eastern Nepal has remained a major market and investment zone for India. The proposed integrated checkpost with all modern amenities being designed and built by Land Port Authority of India between Kakarvitta, Nepal and Panitinke, India is also an indication of the commercial importance of this Eastern Nepal, West Bengal, Sikkim centric region. Honorable Speaker, sir, therefore we would soon constitute a committee of experts that would prepare a detailed project report and provide a comprehensive way forward option. This report will also delineate the details of benefits and opportunities for the state of Sikkim. Let me also state that in addition, a team of experts appointed by the Ministry of External Affairs and NITFI have already visited the site, had deliberations with the stakeholders, and are working on further details. And finally, we are focusing on making the institutions of local governance and autonomous and capable. As a distinct departure from the past, the first time the entire state had the panchayat election on non-political manner. We would like to depoliticize the functions of panchayat so that every rural household gets the best access to the extended facilities and benefit. At the state level, we are retraining, reskilling the official and adding value to the principles of effective, transparent, and accountable governance. Atmosphere of doubts and suspicions. Most of the problem and tension that are faced by our government in the last 4 years have in fact been inherited from the previous government, which ruled the state for a period of more than 2 decades. We have inherited institutions that were destroyed and made disoriented. We were handed over the policies and practices that were deeply truncated, distorted, and harmful to the basic ethos and cultural ecology of Sikkim. Our government had to take over the staggering quantum of financial burden left behind by the previous government. When we took over, we found nepotism, corruption, privatization of state assets, and personalization decision-making process at its highest order. The August House will agree that our government has been able to overcome most of the distortions, deprivations, and destructions of the previous government in the last 4 years. However, the doubts and suspicions are so deeply ingrained that this psychological phenomenon still rises its ugly heads again and again. Strident actions against climate change. Several studies have shown that Sikkim and the eastern Himalayas will be steadily and seriously affected by the global phenomenon of climate change. We are already confronting this in some indicative manner. Our glaciers are recording unusual melting. New glacial lakes are seen. Forest fires have become regular. Springs have started drying up and crops are infested by the newer variety of pests. We also see untimely torrential rains and haphazard snowfall. Flows in the rivers are now unpredictable. All these have huge adverse impact on agriculture, drinking water, food security, livelihood, ecology, and settlement and communities. Another critical dimension of climate change is a new variety of diseases and also large-scale natural calamities triggered by flash floods, glacial lake outbursts, floods, and other emerging tipping points. The National Remote Sensing Center under the Indian Space Research Organization has just published the Landslide Atlas of India in February 2023. It was keen to understand where our state, Sikkim, stand in the ranking of landslide vulnerability. In the vulnerability ranking of 147 districts from 16 states and 2 union territories, I found Sikkim, Namchi, Gangtok, and Gejing district have 8, 9, and 20 ranking, and Mangan district has 51st ranking. The most vulnerable districts in India are Rudraprayag and Triheri, Garhwal in Uttaranchal, and Thrissur in Kerala, and least vulnerable are Okha in Nagaland, Haridwar, and Udham Singh Nagar in Uttaranchal. This shows our districts are highly landslide prone. This is on top of the fact that Sikkim figures in the high-risk seismic earthquake zone 4. Sikkim has reached forest cover with 47.08% of its area under forest. This forest cover regularly experiences many forest fires, hereby damaging large tracts of forest. A total of 2,382.5 hectares of forest cover was lost during the last 5 years. The immediate falls out in the disruption of nature cycle, including that of food availability. This food scarcity several impact upon endangered animals like Himalayan black bear, red panda, and many other rare species, and also threaten the livelihood of people. This leads to a chain of human-animal conflict. What we therefore need in equipment suitable for firefighting in the steep hilly slopes. Well, the Model Sikkim Fire and Emergency Services Bill circulated by the MHA has been approved by the Cabinet. Fire and Emergency Services Institute for Training Fire Safety Personnel is being actively considered along with new fire stations at various strategic places. Honorable Speaker, sir, in view of these vulnerabilities of our state, we shall undertake the following measures. We shall appoint a high-level Climate Change Impact and Mitigation Commission to study the likely impact and also to suggest both short-term and long-term preparatory strategies and mitigation policies. Number two, in this regard, our government has launched a very unique, innovative, novel green initiative, namely Mero Rug Mero Santati, is aimed to strengthen the connect between parents, children, and nature by planting 100 trees to celebrate the birth of a child, watching the tree grow as the baby grows, in a symbolic way of commemorating their symbiotic arrival and coexistence. This will be an appropriate response to the likely dislocation caused by the climate change and would significantly contribute to national campaign of zero carbon goal. Close to 2,000 parents have already registered for the initiative to create carbon neutral societies. The largest societal idea is to harmonize the relations where a child and a tree as they would cuddle and play with each other and also protect one another. Our government is seriously considering to introduce electric vehicles in Sikkim and gradually phase out the fuel-based vehicles. For this to happen, we need to have both the policy and implementing institution in place. We hope to put this in place in course of this fiscal year. Disasters are increasingly becoming a non-traditional security threat. Our government is also actively undertaking the revamping of civil defense mechanism, mainly to quickly and effectively handling various disasters. A major lesson of the devastating 2011 earthquake was the need for trained civil defense as the first response mechanism. We are therefore ensuring setting up of civil defense in all the districts, providing latest equipment for handling disasters and training of youth volunteers in search and rescue. The educational institutions are also made part of the mechanism. Honorable Speaker, sir, Sikkim is among the states with better safety record for women. Crimes against women are few and far between, and women of the state experience a very safe environment. In Sikkim, we believe and practice the age all Indians and mountain tradition where women are granted a high place of respect. The state government has further prioritized women's safety and a proposal to raise a Mahila Battalion of the Indian Reserve Battalion is under consideration. This Mahila Battalion, commanded by women police officer, will further increase the stature of women in the society and provide confidence to the women of the state to actively pursue their varied roles in the society. We have also undertaken the raising of 3 companies of women commandos within this Mahila Battalion. The Dial 112 project is fully implemented and functional in the state and is being monitored and surveyed around the clock. Women tourists find the state very safe. We are launching a scheme to cover all urban areas and major tourist locations with CCTV surveillance. This would be primarily devoted to early warning technologies, preventive measures, and scientific investigations related to homeland security. The cyber crime and cyber security has emerged a new threat with the proliferations and advancement of digital technologies in the state. In order to deal with this emerging threat, Mission Cyber Safai, Sikkim Against Fraud Action Initiative, was launched in September 2020. Under this mission, awareness on cyber crimes has been disseminated through animated videos and social media platform, Gram Sabha schools and colleges. The state government proposes to create one cyber police station in each district under the supervision of SP Cybercrime. A proposal for amendment of IT Act to make sub-inspector and above as investigating officer is also under consideration. This will ensure that more officers are available to investigate cyber crimes, which is on the rise. Besides policing, public awareness campaign on cyber crimes are being undertaken regularly. Cyber Jagurukta is of prime importance for our local police and is being enhanced in the state. We remain grateful to the Union government for the assistance scheme on police modernization. We are endeavoring the enhancing capabilities of the police to use cyber and narco forensic tools more effectively. We would also like to engage our young IT savvy youth in this endeavor. Another very serious non-traditional challenges is disruptive technology that actually emanate from both within and outside the country. This affect our communication system, dislocate our development models, induct destructive ideological and anti-national propaganda. It also imbues false sense of deprivation and alienation among the youth. For instance, the penetrations of powerful web-based radio programs and social media contents emanating from the neighboring countries and have infused huge propaganda methods into the border state like ours. This is against both the interests of Sikkim and the country. Sikkim today boasts of modernized and highly competent police force in the country. The fitness, turnout, and promptness of Sikkim police have been appreciated by visiting dignitaries on various occasions. The state government has passed the Sikkim Police Act 2008, dealing with comprehensive police management in the state. This act is in consonance with the Model Police Act circulated by Government of India. The state has prioritized the right recruitment, systematic and scientific training, imbibing the latest technologies to ensure policing as not only an efficient force but also a disciplined and human entity. Our government has been steadily increasing allocation in these two sectors since we took over the reins of government. This year, the allocation in education sector is 15%. And the health sector is 7.02% of the entire budgetary allocation. In the last 4 years, we have brought both the education and health sector to the forefront of our Homeland Security campaign. We have been mentioning about our major achievement in various forums, from the free medical education to bringing newer universities in the rural areas, reorienting the curriculum and teaching practices as per the new education policy of the Government of India, and constructing school building and playgrounds to provide basic amenities in the schools and colleges. Our government has remained dedicated to doubly enhance the education infrastructure and quality in the state, to ensure immediate and emergency evacuation and timely access to medical facilities to the students, teachers, and staff members. Our government has now provided ambulance with health workers to 8 colleges. These include Narvadur Bhandari Degree College, Tadung, Sikkim Government College Burtuk, Sikkim Government College Rinak, Namchi Government College, Kamrang, Shanchaman Limbu Government College, Gelzing, Sikkim Government Art College, Mangsila, Government Vocational College Dentam, and Sikkim Government Science College Chakhung. Evacuation from the conflict zones, like during the corona pandemic in 2020 and Russia-Ukraine war-related emergency evacuation of our students and other people engaged in various professions outside Sikkim in 2022, we have successfully and safely evacuated 128 students from Manipur during the recent disturbance of May 2023. We call this evacuation exercise in Manipur as Operation Guras. Last year, we evacuated 26 Sikkimese students who were affected by sudden outbreak of war in war in Ukraine, Government of India under its Operation Ganga mission not only safely evacuated all the students and other Indians, but hundreds of flights safely brought them back to India. I would like to extend our warmest gratitude and heartiest congratulations to Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji for this historically successful evacuation from such a devastating zone. Honorable Speaker, sir, as announced and assured in the last year's budget, our government made effort to give them secure and smooth facilities to complete their studies well in time. We have done this in the last few months. We have provided rupees 5 lakh to all the students returning to Ukraine to complete their studies, and rupees 3 lakhs each to the students who decided to stay back in Sikkim and complete the studies. Bahini scheme. Under the popular Bahini scheme, sanitary napkin vending machines are provided to all government schools. Incinerators are also being provided to schools under this. The scheme is aimed at providing easy access to hygienic provisions to school girls, educating the young girls about the natural process of menstrual cycle, and also giving easy and scientific disposal management of the used materials. Our government now proposes to extend this scheme to all government colleges in the state. The government is also encouraging the private education institute, even at the university level, to introduce similar measure. Exposure visit. Government has introduced exposure visit to national, state, commendable awardee teachers. This is aimed at constantly motivating teachers and incentivize the best performing teachers in Sikkim. Announced during the Teachers' Day on 5th September 2022, state awarded teachers are sent for executive trip within the country, and national awarded teachers are sent abroad. They can be accompanied by their spouse to imbibe a degree of competitions, and also incentivize the students to sign academically. 180 meritorious students among the class 11 toppers were sent for 5 days exploratory tour to Calcutta. 418 students among the class 9 topper availed the opportunity to explore Sikkim. Ad hoc teacher regularization. Our government for the first time made a scientific and long-term policy for the regularization of ad hoc teachers. Under this new policy introduced in 2021, 621 teachers of various categories have been regularized in the first phase. Before 2019, these ad hoc teachers function in an atmosphere of uncertainty and insecurity. Many of them were subjected to frequent transfer. There was high degree of nepotism in the process of regularizing these teachers. This new policy has done away with nepotism, favoritism, and arbitrariness. The government now expects that the teachers with this job and service sector will fully devote to quality and innovative teaching. Our government has allocated 100 acres land for the establishment of National Institute of Technology (NIT) campus at Khamdung. The foundation stone of the campus was laid by the Honorable President of India on 4th November 2022. Like in case of national university like Sikkim University, the land issue of NIT campus remained hanging for more than 12 years during the previous government. As a result, campus could not be built, and students, teachers, and the entire Sikkim society badly suffer. Construction of Tarundip Rai Acharya Academy has been started at Khichidumra under Namchi district. The estimated cost of the project is rupees 30 crores. Taking IT to the rural areas, the Department of Information Technology, Government of Sikkim has initiated a project to set up an overhead OFC network in Soaring Parking district. This will provide fiber optic connection to all Gram Panchayats of the Soaring and Parking district, with provision to establish internet at every household in this district. These cyber optics shall be terminated at the GPU offices, block development offices, sub-divisional magistrate offices, and district administrative center under both districts. This uses the overhead technology where poles shall be erected and shared with other ISPs, TASPs. Once 100% Fiberizations of the district are done. All public delivery offices shall be connected with internet, and school, colleges, police station and health center will also be covered. This will make the delivery system of public services efficient, faster and transparent. The total project cost for the two districts is estimated at rupees 120 crores. New tourism attraction in iconic 3.5 kilometer Bhale-Dunga ropeway with state-of-the-art technology from France was inaugurated by Honorable Finance Minister, Government of India on 28 February 2023. This ropeway located in Mainam Wildlife Sanctuary is an engineering wonder that ascends from 1800 meters to a peak of 3,500 meters above sea level. The government is keen on completing this project with skywalk and support facilities to make this an integral part of the tourism map in the country. The government proposes to construct a 15 feet tall gaunt metal statue of former Prime Minister of India, late Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, near the Atal Setu bridge at Rampur. The government is Women's welfare. The government is providing rupees 2,000 per month to women in the age category of 45 years to 59 under the Sikkim unmarried women pension scheme. The state government has enhanced the Indira Gandhi National Old Age Pension Scheme from 1,000 per month to 1,500 per month for those under the age of 60 to 69 years. Rupees 1,500 per month to rupees 2,000 for 70 to 79 years age group, and 2,000 to 2,500 per month for 80 years and above. Under the Indira Gandhi National Widow Pension Scheme, also the government has raised the pension from 1,500 per month to 2,000 per month and has relaxed the widow pension age from 40 years to 21 years. Under the Indira Gandhi National Disability Pension Scheme, the pension amount has been raised from 1,500 to 2,000 per month. Similarly, Chief Minister's State Disability Pension has been raised from 1,000 to 1,500 per month. Multi-village water supply scheme. Jal Jeevan Mission of the Government of India is committed to provide functional household tap connection to every rural household with service level of 55 liters per capita per day. There are additional schemes where the government is targeting water stress areas in Sikkim. One of the identified areas in Budang, Kameri, Central Pandam, West Pandam, GPUs and adjoining area in Pakyong district where perennial local sources are not available throughout the year. Hence, JJM has proposed a project to provide water supply from Changu Memenchu Lake with 46 kilometer length of gravity main, 70 kilometer length of distribution network, 18 reservoirs, storage tanks and 6,355 house service connection. This multi-village water supply scheme is likely to cost 132.73 crores. This project, once completed, will cover 12 villages, 87 habitations, 6,355 households and 21,000 people. Similar multi-village water supply scheme is being constructed in the water stage area of Poglok Denchong, Tinok Chesapani and Salgari GPU Namchi district. This scheme costing over rupees 47 crore will draw water from Rangit River. This project, once completed, will cover 9 villages, 46 habitations, 2,597 households and 12,109 people. This project consists of 4 km length of gravity main, 94.27 km length of distribution network, 17 reservoirs, storage tanks and 2,597 house service connection. Excursion fund for media. Media has been playing a crucial role in building the modern day Sikkim. Despite serious challenges brought about by non-traditional media instruments like various social media, Sikkim's media persons and institutions have firmly and innovatively withstood the challenges. Our government intend to make our media more vibrant, innovative, and competitive. Let me also mention that in the last 3 decades of socio-political development of Sikkim, at no point time in media enjoyed total freedom and professional independence as is enjoyed in the last 4 years of our governments. In our last budget of 2022-23, we announced media fellowship to enable our media person to visit any development project in the country, evaluate the same, write a series of reports from the field and submit the full final report to the government of Sikkim. We were partly able to implement the same. A handsome numbers of our media person visited India Institute of Mass Communication in Mizoram and interaction with the professional expert in this national institution. We shall continue to promote this project. Other socio-political strides. In the last few months, we have witnessed quite a few upheavals and protests by the people of Sikkim. It has been rightly so. While welcoming the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court to extend the income tax exemption to the old settlers in Sikkim, the government of Sikkim and the Sikkim people at large were deeply hurt and widely saddened by some of the expressions in the judgment that purportedly mentioned the Sikkimese Nepalis as the person of foreign origin settled in Sikkim. This is despite the well-documented history of Sikkim Nepalis being an integral part and original inhabitants of Sikkim, along with the 2 other original inhabitants, the Lepchas and the Bhotias. Like other Sikkimese original inhabitants, the Sikkimese Nepalis have immensely and protectively contributed in the historical evolutions and in the building of modern Sikkim. The Sikkimese people, Laz and Sikkimese Nepalis in particular, found these expressions remarked in the Honorable Supreme Court judgment as derogatory, demeaning and factually incorrect. This expression also amounted to a sense of insecurity, uncertainty, and fear. Our government, with the full support of the people of Sikkim, immediately made appeal and review petition for the removal of this expression in the judgment of Honorable Supreme Court. Our fervent pleas were rightly conveyed to the Honorable Supreme Court by various agencies of the Government of India. Since then, the Honorable Supreme Court, the apex legal and justice institution of India, has permanently removed and legally erased the demeaning, hurting, and misleading expression of the Sikkimese Nepalis being the person of foreign origin settled in Sikkim. We all are fully aware that this inadvertent expressions and observation found place in the judgment by the Honorable Supreme Court of India dated 13 January 2023 on the writ petition C number 59 of 2013 filed by the Association of Old Settlers of Sikkim, primarily and essentially because the last government led by the Sikkim Democrat Front never tried seriously and wholeheartedly to address the sensitive and painful issues both before the Honorable Supreme Court of India and also outside with various governmental agencies of the Union government. The last government literally ignored and missed all the options and opportunities that were before them to provide the effective historical fact and correct perspectives. These few weeks, however, displayed the power of unity and traditional wisdom of the Sikkimese people. This represented the fruitful result of well-established peace and harmony in Sikkimese society and polity. And these demonstration and consequences of unflinching perseverance and formidable will of the Sikkimese people. Let me heartily congratulate all the Sikkimese people for their constant contribution and this historic achievement. The Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, has always shown his deep love and faith on the people of Sikkim in the situation and have profusely held their contribution in the making of modern India. We are deeply touched by the highest degree of sensitivity, respect, and urgency shown by the Honorable Supreme Court. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, Sri Amit Shah's communications and action in these hours of fear and uncertainty among the peace-loving and harmonious Sikkimese people have been both soothing and reassuring. The Honorable Union Minister of Law and Justice, Sri Kiran Rijiju, so warmly assure us the Sikkimese Nepalis, along with the Lepchas and Bhutias, will be unconditionally and under all circumstances protected under Article 371F of the Constitution of India. Our government would also to record our big applause to all the civil society organizations, the intellectuals, academies, and student professionals, women collectives, and media fraternity of Sikkim for their concern, effort, and effective voices. I would like to personally thank our respected representative in the Parliament of India and my distinguished colleagues in the State Assembly and all the officials for their support and initiative to resolve the sensitive issue in a harmonious and legally sustained manner. We'd also place on record our thanks and gratitude for the concern conveyed and solidarity demonstrated by all the well-wishers of Sikkim and Sikkimese people from various institutions and geographies of India. All the Sikkimese people, like in the past, cherish that the old settlers will play a crucial and focused role in the future development of Sikkim. The amendment of Finance Bill 2023 and the fresh two additional categorizations of Sikkim is therein naturally brought some more consternations among us in Sikkim. In this regard, also the Finance Minister has not only given us assurance about its operational limit that would not impinge upon the provisions of Article 371F, but we have also made firm representations to the Government of India, including through the Sikkim Legislative Assembly resolution to renew this new categorization. We shall soon take all the members of the Legislative Assembly and the members of Parliament to New Delhi to seek further amendments to the categorization made in the Amendment Finance Bill. We'd like to assure the August House that at no point of time we shall allow any agency to fiddle with the sacrosanct provisions of Article 371F of the Constitution of India. However, let me also state that we have formidable challenges before us in near future to bring a definite and durable resolution to the pending issues. Like I mentioned in my last budget speech, we shall have to remain alert, steady, and united. At the same time, let me assure the people of Sikkim that our government will not leave any stone unturned to explore and find the permanent resolutions to all these long-standing issues. These very crucial issues include the reservation of Limbu and Tamang seat in State Assembly, scheduled tribes status to the 12 left-out caste of Sikkimese Nepali community, welcoming the assuring His Holiness the 17th Karmapa Ugen Trinle Doji to the Rumtek Monastery, the continuation of the Registration of Companies Act Sikkim 1961 that was replaced by the Companies Act 1930, and of course an alternative all-weather highway from the plain land to various parts of Sikkim. It is pertinent to mention here that our government has for the past 3 years been making budgetary provision to facilitate the visit of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the 17th Karmapa Ugen Teli Doji to Sikkim. This year a sum of rupees 1 crore has been earmarked for the visit of the 17th Karmapa Ugen Teli Doji. Likewise, a sum of rupees 2 crore has been provision for the visit of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in this budget. Honorable Speaker, sir, one growing concern for our state is the decline in the total fertility rate of our state. According to data from NFSS 5, the total fertility rate in Sikkim is at 1.1, which is alarmingly below the replacement level. This decline has serious socio-demographic and economic implication for our state. As an immediate measures, our government has increased the maternity leave and paternity leave of the all government employees. We have also extended the benefit of 1 increment for a second child and 2 increment for the third child of a government servant. For the general public other than employees, cash incentives shall be provided. Moreover, our government has introduced the Vassalai scheme, under which an amount of rupees 3 lakhs shall be provided as financial assistance. This scheme will cover both government employees and non-employees of the state. Honorable Speaker, sir, I would like to highlight some of the notable allocations that our government has made in this budget. In this current budget, our government has taken all effort to ensure that pending liabilities of the previous government, like expenditure for fair weather roads, land compensation for airport, among others, rural food bridges, water supply, etc., have been nullified to a large extent. Our government has set aside a sustainable amount for resettlement of pathing landslide victims. Our government has enhanced all allocations for purchase of medicines for the veterinary sector by 4 times. The Sirijanga Sacred Cave, a place highly venerated by the Limbu community, came under the proposed alignment of the NSIDCL road. Our government, to save the Sirijanga Sacred Cave and as a mark of respect to the Limbu community, has acquired the adjoining land for diverting the previous alignment so that to save the sacred Sirijanga Cave. Our government has allocated adequate fund for the skill youth startup scheme so as to enable our youth to become self-reliant and independent. For the maintenance creation of new roads, our government has allocated rupees 60 crores in this year's budget. For improving the S&T bus services, our government has earmarked fund for the procurement of 10 AC buses and tankers. With the man to improve the homestays running in the state, our government has deferred substantial fund in the latest financial year and will further augment in this budget. Under the Chief Minister Rural Housing Mission, our government has successfully completed and closed the project. Moreover, under Sikkim Garib Awas Yojana, our government has deferred substantial fund in the last financial year and will further augment in this budget. For engaging our youth and providing better sports facilities, our government has earmarked 30 crores for the construction of various playgrounds. Our government has also set aside considerable fund to promote and encourage local talent and artists in the field of performing arts. For improving of facilities in rural areas, our government has earmarked fund for the construction of crematoriums, Samaj Ghar and clubhouses. For the project design and development of Galwa, Lachun, Chempo Center, Sumik, Linje, Rapen and Badong for Sikkim Buddhism and Buddhist craft, sustainable fund has been provisioned. Honorable Speaker, sir, I shall now briefly mention the budgetary profile for the financial year 2023-24. Against a gross expenditure provision of rupees 12,146.51 crore, the net outgo comes to rupees 11,806.551 crores. After taking into account recoveries amounting to rupees 34000 crore. The fiscal deficit remained in adherence to the fiscal management targets set in the Sikkim Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2010, that is not more than 3% of GSDP and 0.4% of GSDP, linked to certain power sector reforms as per the recommendation of 15th Finance Commission. Besides, under the scheme for special assistance to states for capital investment, Government of India has allowed financial assistance in the form of 50 years interest-free loan up to 1% of GSDP over and above the normal borrowing ceiling. The contribution from own tax revenue is of the order of rupees 1726.95 crores. And that of non-tax revenue rupees 10778.90 crores. The total gross expenditure includes allocation amounting to rupees 1952.21 crore under the center sponsor scheme. The summarized account of the receipt and disbursement in details below and is incorporated in the budget. Amount in crore. Number 1, tax revenue rupees 1726.995. Number 2, non-tax revenue rupees 1078.90. 3, state share of center taxes rupees 3963.23. 4 grand in aid, rupees 2593.33 crores. Gross borrowing, rupees 2142.44 crores. Financial assistance under the scheme for special assistance to states for capital investment, rupees 449.89 crores. 7. Recoveries of loan net advances, rupees 0.03 crores. Net of public account, rupees minus 97.774 crores. Total receipt, rupees 11857.03 crores. Total net expenditure, rupees 11806.51 crore. Let us once again march forward to fulfill our goals based on sustainable development policies for the benefit of the people of Sikkim. Let us rededicate ourselves to further peace and tranquility and ensure that the state grows to become an example of innovation and progress. With this commitment, I commend the budget for the year 2023-24 to the House for its kind consideration. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Sikkim.